it is. Good morning, and welcome to the stream. I certainly appreciate you being here this morning. Why don't we go ahead and get started? We'll get started with a 440 tuning fork, and let's just see real quick, like where we are, like. Bear with me for one moment. There we go. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you a starting point. Yeah. The A440. So we're starting here. Starting with A. Good. That'll be a good place for us to start and continue moving through the tuning cycle, tuning sequence. If you're just tuning in and you have never been here before, I'm not sure who's who, but welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth. I'm Jason, and I'll be your host this morning if you stick around, and if you don't, I guess someone else will be your host. This is intended to be a morning ritual, a ritualistic approach to the guitar. Sort of focusing on the whole person, not to sound too esoteric or too sort of, too much like a wingnet. This is a little bit, I like to take what I do seriously, and I know you do too, so I'll go ahead and initiate my breathing and my posture. One good breath in, one good breath out, and that's followed by many more great breaths in and out. Good. And it sounds like we are in business, so we'll start right away with fingers 3 and 4 on frets 10 and 12. So this is different than a practice session. This is the morning ritual for guitar growth. It's a warm-up, so grab your guitar and stick around, join us, and get that fulfillment that we can only get from warming up and working out with the guitar. So we'll start right here, right now. 1 E and a 2. Oh, we have a metronome here. The metronome is clicking away for us at 60 beats per minute, and we are going to play 4 attacks per beat to begin. 1 E and a 2. Happy Friday to you. And we are off. And we're moving around. We're moving around this morning. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Jason, and if you're just dipping your toes in just to feel it out, this is great. It's a good experience, I think, just to feel the things out before you commit. So I would grab a guitar. If you decide you want to make some time for the guitar in the morning with me here, you're more than welcome. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'm doing this for the entire year of 2025. Good Lord willing, of course, It's all subject to change, but the idea, at least, is to be here for the entire year of 2025 and do these workouts with my guitar, with my Martin D, it's a dreadnought. It's a DX2E, so it's sort of like one of the El Cheapos. I don't know if it's El Cheapo. It's not, it's not the most expensive guitar on the shelf. It's not the cheapest guitar on the shelf, but it does have some electronics in the fingers 2 and 3. So 10 and 12, 2 and go. I'll tell you what, it's got a nice spruce top on it. It's got a decent electric sound, a decent acoustic sound, and a great feeling neck. The neck of the guitar feels wonderful. The finish on the neck feels great, and it just makes you want to sit down with the guitar, grab the guitar, and play guitar with Jason on YouTube for his morning ritual for guitar growth every weekday morning at 7:30. It really does. So if you decide you want one, I do feature these. I feature this guitar, the metronome, the strings that I use, which are phosphor bronze, and the tuning fork, which is A440, and the capo that I'm wearing, the collar on this guitar. The capo is also, they're all available via affiliate links. If you need a piece of equipment, please consider, we thank you to consider purchasing through those links, because it does, believe it or not, every little bit counts. It does help the channel. So 1 E and a 2, fingers 1 and 2 on 10 and 12. Here we go. This feels great this morning. It just feels wonderful to be here. After yesterday, got a little bit squirrely, but it does feel great to be here with the guitar. Working with the guitar again today. I'm thankful to be here. But I also recognize that this is part of a goal structure for my own person. And if you're here with me, it's likely, either part of your goal structure, like an entertainment situation, or you really have made a decision to continue and build yourself up with the guitar over the year. So we have some fun stuff to talk about today. And stick around, stick around. Fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12. Go. Growing and diminishing in volume. So that way we can be, expressive with our playing, our approach to the instrument. So soft grows to loud, or piano grows to forte. I'm always trying to be careful, mindful of the... Here's a pro tip. Here's a pro tip. And it's one that is inescapable. If you are a recording artist, if you enjoy recording the guitar, I guess, I don't know what constitutes a recording artist or a guitar practitioner who enjoys recording. I don't know, artistry, I guess, I don't know. But it's all, just something that I enjoy doing. So I've found that let's do fingers 1 and 3 on frets 9 and 12. I enjoy to T, E, and F, 4, E, go. That's right. I enjoy getting started before I start talking. What I really enjoy is not talking at all and just observing every single breath and every single note. But I'm also keenly aware that that's not always the most inviting thing to do, is just leave blank, blocks of silence, So what I do enjoy, let me jump back to the recording artistry, the artistry of recording the guitar. So I think once you get things microphoned or lined in correctly, you get the levels dialed in, correctly, most of what's going to work or not work in the recording environment is a direct result of the way I touch the guitar. It's my hands. So whether I have to take 100 takes or if I can do it in one take, it's predetermined the amount of time that I have to spend in the studio or behind a microphone or in front of a microphone or lined into the system or whatever is a direct result of how much I've practiced previous to that date, that recording date, right? And even more important than this, if you're not doing it yet, develop a relationship with your microphone, right? The microphone is it's an important thing that I'm not sure how to state this clearly enough and loudly enough. It's important, especially as an acoustic guitar player or a vocalist, or if you're an electric guitar player and you're miking your amp, or this is specifically relating to an acoustic guitarist or vocalist. Acoustic guitarists in particular, fingers 1 and 4 on frets 7 and 12. 2, 8, and go. And we're at 60, yeah, that's right. We're at 60 beats per minute, and we're using 4 attacks per beat to get through this part of the exercise. A wee bit of a finger stretch here, lasses. It's okay, because if we can't do it today, we can do it tomorrow. We can reach it tomorrow. It's okay. And when I sit down, I wanted to jump back into the recording process. If I want my guitar lines to sound super clean and super like Nashville clean, or dynamically relevant, I have to practice that way. And it's really important that I like to practice I set aside chunks of time every day or week or whatever to practice, maybe not even record, but to practice when I'm sitting in front of a mic with headphones on, just so I can start to just acclimate to that environment. That sort of different listening environment will give us a readout, a feedback. So fingers 2, 3, and 4, and 10, 11, and 12. We'll keep going. 2, T, E, and a 4, E. Also, you can double tap the screen if you don't mind. Give it a little double tap. Smash that like button, in other words. But I do programmatically set time aside for sitting down in front of a microphone, whether it's a hot Shure 57, or if it's a pencil mic, aimed at the just 45 off the sound hole, whether my guitar is lined in, or whatever the environment is, whatever I have access to, I'm going to make use of. So let's say I have a cheap old mic, a Samson or something, just whatever I could get my hands on. I'm looking at my mic blocker here, and I see a lot of different stuff in there. But I'm thinking, whatever the cheapest mic I have, even if I only have like I said, we could use a 57 and make a guitar sound great on an album, right? It doesn't really, there's all kinds of voodoo and there's all kinds of marketing in there that will lead me to believe I need a $10,000 blah, blah, blah. And that's great. It's wonderful if I can afford to do that. But I also know that using what I have also works And most of my clients won't ever know the difference. So for example, 1E and 2 fingers, 1 and 2 and 3, 10, 11 and 12. For years, I still have Canon's very first digital single lens reflex camera, the 5D. It's the Canon, the very first Canon 5D that was ever made. I still have one of those. And you know, I'll still use it on certain things, you know, and we'll blow it up to billboard size and we'll do a little treatment of the image. And nobody knows that I'm shooting on a camera that's, you know, decades old. And I don't need to use a new, a new whatever the newfangled thing is. I guess the idea is if you have a hammer, a friend who's a Pulitzer Prize winner, photojournalist, and he's been over everywhere in the world. Recently, he's been to some war zone, blah blah blah. But we got into this, like he's a Nikon shooter, I'm a Canon shooter, and he's I'm like, Mike, I like Canon's warranty services. They are blazing fast and totally responsive. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to get in it with you. And I'm like, I'm not getting into anything. I just wanted to talk about customer support. Customer support to me is worth everything. It almost trumps the actual piece of gear. If the support is world class, if you're taking the person seriously, that's very important. So 1 and 2 and 4 on 9, 10, and 12. Here we go. So anyway, I'm shooting with this old Canon 5D. I do have updated gear, but I still like the size, the form factor, and I still like the look of the 5D. I can't get that look with any other camera. It just won't happen. That very first 5D. So that's that's proof in the pudding right there. So there's if I just recorded an entire album with a hot 57 with an acoustic guitar, that's probably not the worst thing in the world. So what I really need to do mentally in order to get into that game, and we're talking about recording, but this is really the morning ritual for guitar growth. So if you're here, thanks for being here. I'm Jason. And what you've found your way into the morning ritual for guitar growth. This is it's something I do every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the entire year of 2025. And I very rarely encourage you to double tap the screen or smash that like button. But if you're inclined to do it on your own, I'm all for it, all for it. Anyway, if you're here and you'd like to grab your guitar, I'll be here until 8:30. So you go ahead, you have plenty of time to go grab your guitar, tune it up, and jump in, because this warm-up is something that, I've been teaching the guitar for a long time. I've had thousands of students, and some of them, tour the world. They play Warped Tour, they play like venues, they play Burning Man. I've recorded a lot of artists and blah, blah, blah. I've done a lot of different things, but I've been a teacher for a long time. And if you're looking for something to maybe kickstart your guitar journey, maybe you're wondering about playing the guitar, you're beginning, you're thinking about, let me stretch while I do this. So here's a good place to be. This is a good place to be. Every 15 minutes, I say we, but it's really me and maybe you, right? I like to stretch just to for refreshment and keep my body sort of safe from harm and protect it, because of, guitaring is really, it's physically demanding, isn't it? The posture that we keep, it's really good. Plus I'm refreshing, this is a good way to break the pattern, to take a moment to remember to breathe, and then just to take a moment to mix it up a little bit. And every single time, whenever I come back from stretching, I always feel better. I always feel like my hands are brand new. Everything works better. Everything feels fresh. And it's a great thing to do. So, anyway, this is the morning ritual for guitar growth, and I welcome you to be here. And, I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the entire year of 2025. I'm going to keep repeating that time and again, so if people are passing by in and out, so that they can kind of get a record of, what's actually happening here. What am I doing? What's going on? Where did you fall into? But I appreciate the patience if you're sitting here with me with your guitar in your living room, Kevin, and the other gang, Mark. And Justin, I think the patience is really appreciated, I appreciate it. So let's jump back into it. Fingers, where are we at? I think we're just about to do 1 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and bum. On 9, 11, and 12. And we'll just go ahead and get these done. Yes, right. So the notes that we play, this is what I wanted to come back to. It might have something to do with us having a recording session due today. But it's, the studio, or whether you have a microphone that you can plug into your laptop or whatever, a USB mic. There are a lot of good ones on the market now, and Rode has a great one, and Rode's just a wonderful company. And practice listening to yourself playing into a microphone through some headphones. Do yourself a favor and get yourself some, Apple AirPods or not AirPods, but a decent set of wired headphones. Studio reference monitors would be good. If you spend $100, $150 on ear monitors, it will be money well spent, and they'll last for a while. I like the biodynamic stuff. Anyways, listening to myself through headphones is life-changing. 1 E and a 2 D. I'll tell you why in a second. Stick around. We're using fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 now. We've congratulated ourselves by graduating to being a 4-finger guitar player again. And here's why I like to set blocks of time aside to play in front of a microphone, into a computer, or into a Zoom recorder, whatever it is, and monitor my playing with a set of headphones on. Play into the cans, so to speak. I've got my cans on, and it's really important for me because I've played guitar for a good amount of time now, and maybe you've played guitar for a good amount of time, and you say, oh man, it's about time that I make a sort of like, some of us will do like scrapbooking, or make photo albums, or a journal. I journal every day, and some of us like to make albums of music, and so this making an album is actually a statement or a testament, a testimonial as to how far we've come. It's a state of the art for us, right? When I make an album, I'm only practicing up to my capacity. I'm practicing for the best of my ability, and then I'm laying down some music that is a statement of where I am currently in my life, so that when I'm gone one day, that will live on and maybe it just lives on in my family, maybe it's beyond me, but it's a testament of what I've experienced up to this point in my life. So maybe there are words on the song, maybe there are no words on the song, maybe it's just me and my guitar for 5 or 6 songs or 5 or 6 pieces of music. Maybe it's an entire album with 12 songs on it. Any way we slice it, I want to practice as if the world the world might be listening. So 1 E and a 2. Let's go ahead and stretch the 4th finger. 1, 2, 3, 4 on 13, 9, 10, 11, and 13. Go. So that's why I think it's so important to practice with a metronome and practice dynamically to be loud like bull in china closet or soft like grasshopper. Or I think it's important to practice with earphones. And so some of my videos here on YouTube, some of the the widescreen videos, you'll see me. I have a pair of Shure. They look like what do you call them? Hearing aids, but they're in-ear speaker and they're in-ear monitors, and the in-ear monitor is just a fantastic way to get hyper localize your musical experience. Yeah. So it's funny, we're talking about this entire session. This seems to be about listening, about hearing, and about observing. But at the same time, it's also about doing. It's also about playing to the best of one's ability. That doesn't mean fast, doesn't mean slow, it just means just right, that golden zone. Which is, it can be difficult to attain, because one thing that we have going for us is our imagination, right? And sometimes it's easy to set up a situation where we feel like failures, because what I do is I shoot for the golden arches, but those golden arches they're just not, that level of perfection just is not reachable by a human, right? And so while I shoot for perfection, do I ever reach it? I mean, once in a while, you feel those tingles and your arm hairs come up and the hair in the nape goes kind of crazy or whatever. Maybe you don't have hair in your nape and you're blessed, but 1 E and 2 fingers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again, but this time 8, 10, 11, and 12. Here we go. And we're coming to the top of the hour, and we're getting toward the end of the 4-finger wonders. So being in a pattern of being the observer and the doer simultaneously, and then executing on perfection can be a demanding task. And one of the ways that I sort of facilitate this sort of moment for myself is through work with an in-tuned guitar, with a metronome, and with a low breath. So I can hear, I can do, I can own all of the things that I can own all of it. All of the Yeah, and it's not really about anything other than, you know, just doing the thing that works for you, really. Let's go ahead and good. All right, let's go ahead and use this 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. And you know the exercise. We're doing the old roll in the china closet now just to kind of get the lead out, you know, just kind of pushing on the gas a little bit. All right, so that's pretty good. I would probably do that 3 or 4 times in order to kind of like help it sort of like set, you know, when gelatin's sort of like hot and, you know, it's sort of like still liquid, you know what I mean? But when it starts to cool down, it starts to set. That kind of thing right here, this kind of exercise doesn't really start to set until I go, for some reason, and maybe it's just me, could be a me thing. This kind of exercise does not tend to set until I go up and down it, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 times. The repetition for this kind of thing is important because there's a lot going on. We're getting familiar with we're identifying with the entire range of the guitar string set, which is, you know, it feels vast at times, right? But then when we do this a few times in a row, up and down, we start to feel like we've got a system of control that starts to rear its ugly head, you know? And we start to feel comfortable, and we start to feel all of those things that sort of block, you know, the comfort ends up blocking our growth. So what we have to do is down the road, when we get super good and comfy with this, we'll end up having to change the pattern so that we can still continue to grow, right? Yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. Oh, if you're here, double tap that screen for me, for Uncle Jason. Give us a like, smash that like button. Why not? You know? Let's go, let's continue. Oh, here we are. This is what we need to do. This is what I need to do. Anyway, I'm still working on pentatonics. I'd like to learn more about pentatonics. I've been playing pentatonics for a long time. There's this thing that happens within pentatonic. So you know, you can just goof off and just throw notes everywhere. Don't mean a thing, really. But then when we do something like this that has a pattern, right? Get you a bread, yeah, get you a bread, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, when we start to be able to sort of like link like humanity to the notes, then that's where the rubber really starts to meet the road. You know, we can start to, you know, wonder about what kind of tires we're using. Are they, you know, am I just going to the store to get groceries, or am I putting my, do I need drag tires so I can get the grip that I need to get to the end of the track faster than my competitor? You know, just because the rubber is meeting the road, it doesn't mean we're all still in the same game. Do you know what I mean? Right, so where the rubber meets the road, though, where we can start to fool around with where the rubber meets the road, where it starts to get real, is what I'm saying, is that minor pentatonic shape. When we start to attach humanity, or, you know, sentiment to that, right, to that. Stevie Ray Vaughan used to do this. He's got this sort of like, he had this thing, that kind of thing mastered. He just kind of, he just reverse rake, so just one like continuous upstroke that would kind of like he'd finger roll all the way back down to the G string from the high E string on, you know, we're playing A minor pentatonic. And he'd roll back from that 8, 8, 8 on the high E, the B, and the G strings, all with one just like rake, just one perfectly timed upstroke. And then he'd pull off down to fret 5. He'd just go from A to A to A, pull off to the 7th fret, pull off to fret 5, and then maybe end on like a root note or something like that. It's a really great little lick, you know, to know. One of the things that I really like to do is just kind of keep working on learning those shapes. And even though I'm doing the things that I know I've done for years, I hate to say this, we use the R word, you know, repetition. There's no other way to find new territory other than to meditate on the things that have come before, right? You know, I can try to imagine new technologies or whatever, or new patterns or new ways around the old thing, but unless I'm actually practicing the thing, it's hard to have a frame of context. So I have to go through this stuff, and then I'll have an epiphany, and I'll think, what if I do this pattern this way? And then I'll start to incorporate that in my practice. Once that gets up to speed in my practice, then I'll start to incorporate that into my warm-up. So warm-up and practice, two different things, two separate things all together, right? One E and so we're starting with minor pentatonic, just up and down. Planing from position number 9 all the way to position number 1, and then back up to position number 9. 1 and 2, and here we can go. Yeah. I'll just work on just hammer-ons and pull-offs. So, and as I ascend, I'm hammering on. As I descend, I'm pulling off. So one attack per string. So it's pluck, pull, hammer, pluck, hammer, pluck, hammer, pluck, hammer, pluck, hammer, pluck, pull, pluck, pull, pluck, pull. And maybe we're using the swing 8s from yesterday. You know, the jazz hands. Maybe straighten the 8th notes out. And this tissue is, you know, the tissue is definitely building. So we're just working those ideas. We're just working them, you know, that's all we're doing. Second shape is 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2. So 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 4. And we're going. But this time I'm just hammering and pulling. Just to get, you know, familiar. Get the fingers in the right place at the right time. The pick in the right place at the right time. And I think that if I recall correctly, this is harder than I think it is, you know. No, it's even harder if I don't breathe, you know. Don't forget to breathe. Good. And shape number 3, or pattern number 3, is of course the old 1 3 1 3 1 3. Stretch that 1 3, and then 1 4 1 3. Yeah, you got it. 1 3 1 3 1 3. Stretch the 1 3 1 4 1 3. Good. Let's start from the top and come back down. 1 E and 2 and pulling off, hammering on, pulling off, hammering on. If we botch a couple of notes, no problem. We want to make sure that we get the majority of them intact, though. We want to be sure that we get the DNA of each pattern sort of in place, so we have that scale DNA intact. You can see I'm missing a note here and there, but for the most part, I'm, you know, making that stretch happen. If I miss a note, it's usually on that stretch, you know. Sometimes I'll use the fourth finger to replace that stretch. All right, next shape, shape number 4, is going to be 1 4 1 4 1 3 1 3 2 4 1 4. We don't need to play a whole lot, use a whole lot of force on the guitar, because the tone definitely comes in between there, somewhere between pianissimo and you know, fortissimo. Maybe there's a lot of tone in there somewhere, and you know, and maybe there's a little bit more roundness by shaping the tone with your pick too, you know, or your fingers. Just beautiful, beautiful notes everywhere. So let's go ahead and do this. 1 4 1 4 1 3 1 3 2 4 1 4. This is Friday today, so happy Friday, by the way. I hope you're having a good Friday, and I hope the world goes your way today. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant day today, and we're getting ready to wrap it up in 15 minutes, so after we get through the sequence, I'm going to start moving away and migrating. I'm going to engage in a pilgrimage away from my warm-up mindset into that of a mindset of a practicing guitar player. Good. Fingers. The last shape for the minor pentatonic, the pentatonic palace, I like to call it. So fingers 2 and 4, and 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. Then we have this really nice, just, you know, straight back. I know we're not stretching as much as we should today, but we're going to continue going. We have one more exercise and then a stretch. 1 E and a 2 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. Go. 2 4 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Yeah, these really simple patterns, you know, 2 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the top. I'm still using pentatonic patterns. This is just a different pentatonic pattern. Maybe it's a new one for you, maybe it's an old one for you, but either way, it's a good one for you, you know. Long notes, evenly distributed. Yeah, I'm happy with the way these are sounding this morning. I'm happy with these. This will give me a good start to the day. Yes, we have a little bit of a project coming up today, so you can maybe keep an eye out at Pinecone Records here on YouTube for the updated version. It'll be really great. It's something different. It's really different, and it's really heavy and it's really hardcore. So hopefully you enjoy that too. You know, it's you know, a tale of two cities. It's got a little story about that. So you'll maybe enjoy that. Maybe something different for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of wackiness all over the guitar. Let's go ahead and do a little stretch. And then we'll start working on something new today. Just start shifting the old mindset from that of a static warming up guitar practitioner to that of an active warming up guitar practitioner. And we'll start working on some new ground. So what shall the new ground be today? The new ground, we've been talking about actively playing. We've been talking about simultaneously actively listening and being the observer. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Jason, I'm stretching. Welcome to the show, Morning Ritual for Guitar Growth. You can see a little bit, you know, not a whole lot of production value here, but there is a lot of bang for the buck, considering I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard or Eastern Time for the entire year of 2025, good Lord willing. But, you know, it's free. So I guess there's a little bit of bang for the buck in there. All right, we'll finish up. What are we doing? What are we doing? So we've been actively playing, actively observing our playing. We've been thinking about what is it like to play with headphones on? What is it like to play behind a microphone, in front of a microphone? And to hear, usually we don't get the readout. We'll get the readout sent, you know, later on. Maybe we'll listen to it and play back and be like, ooh, maybe I should have played a different note. Maybe I shouldn't have been out drinking the night before, or I don't do that. But man, I really hate those notes that I play. Brian, a horn player I worked with, he always used to say, you gotta love what you play. You gotta love all of the notes that you play. Every single note, you've gotta love them. I love the guy. Great attitude, great person. And he's one of those guys, him and John. John used to play, they used to go, they're horn players, and they didn't have like headphones, they didn't have microphone systems, and then all of the stuff that we have access to now. What they would do, if they wanted to get like a readout, like a real-time readout on their tone, they'd go play against the wall. They'd blow into a wall or play into a corner. Have you ever tried that? Play in a bathroom, like a tile bathroom or something. Find a wall or a corner, and then put your stool in the corner as close as you can get without banging your guitar headstock off of the wall. Try this. Here's an exercise for you to do today. and it will change the way you listen to yourself playing the guitar. Go find a corner, just like when we were being reprimanded, admonished as in our youth, we'll be placed in the corner to play our guitars. That corner is going to treat us, that corner is going to give us the sounds that we need. It's going to reflect we're going to play into it, and then it's going to bounce the sound back here, mathematically, boom, boom, and hit our ears, and we are going to get immediate feedback on what exactly our guitar sounds like. So this is a great source. It's like a chamber of reflection. It's a reflection that you can only get from playing into a corner or into a beautifully unadorned wall. The wall's got to be clean and free of debris and hanging paintings or whatever, because any of that will sort of start to refract the sound reflections. But if you play, I really want to know, come back to this live. So after this live stream is done, today is whatever day, what is the date today? Whatever day it is today. Oh, it's Happy Friday, right? That's like the 15th or something. Come find this video and leave me a comment. Let me know, hey, dude, you were so right. Or, hey, dude, you're so full of crap. I've unsubscribed, and I'll tell everybody I know to never go see your channel. But if you, I really am curious to see how you experience this, because it's life-changing. It's exciting. It's a great way to just to enjoy the guitar in a new place, keep it fresh. Once again, it will open up new places. So let me know how it goes. Come find this under my, here at Jason Carey Guitar on YouTube. Under my live tab, you have to go to my channel home, go to the live tab, and underneath that you can find the this episode and say, hey, I tried it and it changed my life. The way I could hear my guitar if I angle it just right, it was so great. So if you're into that kind of thing, if you get geeky, let me know. Let us know how it goes. Please. Or if you don't, no problem. No problem at all. Just get excited. I'm just trying to get excited about something. Okay, I'm over it. All right, let's do a little bit more about one of those things where the rubber meets the road. Let's do that. And you can practice this into your corner today, maybe. So the minor pentatonic shape, I'm going to link two shapes together for you, right? So the first shape is position number 5, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. So I like to do this simple. It's 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. So 1, 4, 3 1 3s, 2 1 4s. The next shape that links up to that, connects to it. It's the house pattern that Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix used this all the time. Chuck Berry, Mr. Berry, all of these great players started to use this. Here are the two walls, and then here's the triangle for the roof, right? And then, anyway, the actual pattern, the fingering like this it works like this. 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4, and then I start with the root note. And then I always tonicize the root note, because how would I know where to start or stop if I'm not playing the root note, Ooh, I can find a root note up here on fret number 10, and I can slide into it and then wiggle it around. And I can't really wiggle it around without, popping off the fretboard on the high E string. So that's good. Good to know. You see where I'm going with this, right? We can connect those two shapes. start slipping and sliding, you know, doing all those things, those fun things that those wild and zany advanced guitar players do, just slipping in and out of phase, you know. Let's play Find the Root Note. So we can play all of those ideas in multiple areas, multiple domains. Great stuff to practice, but what I really wanted to show you once we connected those dots is that there are these sixes that we can play on the top two string, or the top three strings. So here's the, you know, what do you call this? Hybrid picking, I guess. You know, I don't know if you close enough. We'll call it hybrid picking. So we're playing this pick with the G string, and then the high E string with finger 1 or finger 3 or whatever, you know. We'll just use 2 fingers for now, just to pinch those 2 strings, the G and high E. So we can also start connecting those two, those strings, the gaps, right? So we have these string skips that we can start. Let's say that we have, you know, the minor pentatonic shape. I have those 2 notes that belong, and then I have these 2 notes. So I can start creating these really great little these little like combinations. And then we can use different shapes or whatever, you know. But that's the idea, is that we have these different double stops that we can use. So that being said, I can use, you know, here's another note that kind of is reminiscent of some country blues or country guitar playing. So if you just stick with me on this one just real quick, we have one like less than a minute left, but I'm going to use that you know, that little riff that everybody knows and loves, so, and totally loves and uses. For good reason. And we're starting with 2 notes, and then that could 2 notes that could be justifiably part of that minor pentatonic shape, but we're stepping in and out of the shape chromatically, but we're coming back to the shape. So those little passages, just a heads up, just a quick pro tip for the day, while you're practicing into your corner, those can be very exciting things to explore with the guitar when in practice mode. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you very kindly for sharing your time with me, and more importantly, investing in your own time and building your guitar practice so that we can continue this craft into future generations. All right, it's really that serious, I think. All right. Have a wonderful day. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Maybe we'll catch you on the channel over the weekend for some Ted Green's chord chemistry or something like that. Until we meet again on Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I wish you